How's it going, YouTube? Crazy316 here with you once again. I'm making this video to address something that JTO, he made a video about that's titled Merry Christmas, as you can see right here. And the video, I believe, is meant to be sarcasm. I don't know what his view is of Christianity or Christians, because I don't really pay attention that much about that type of topic when it comes to JTO. I just know that he is an MRA, and a lot of the stuff that he posts on A Voice for Men and he stands for, I agree with when it comes to men's rights. But when it comes to this video, we're dealing with Jeremiah in the 10th chapter, and he's reading verses 1 through 4. And when you read those verses, it makes it seem like we're talking about Christmas trees. So I'm just gonna play the video and let him read the first 4 verses.
And as you know, that atheists are at war with Christianity, and this is something that absolutely has to stop. And to contribute to this conversation, I thought I would share with you a little bit. And I thought I would share with you a little something from the source. This is from the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 1. Hear ye the word which the Lord speaketh unto you, O house of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heavens, for the heathens are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth a tree out of the forest, and the work of the hands of the workman with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold, and they fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. I'll repeat that first part. Thus saith the Lord, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them.
So that was verses 1 through 4, and if you stop at that, this is what people tend to do. They stop, and it pulls the whole thing out of context. If you stop at that, it sounds like we're talking about Christmas trees. But if you keep reading, you'll discover that it has nothing to do with Christmas trees at all. It has to do with idols and idol worshiping. So let's continue on with verse 5. All by itself even. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do any evil, or they cannot do evil. Neither also is it in them to do good. How in the world does that relate to a Christmas tree? It doesn't. You can always read, I encourage you to read the whole thing, but I'm just going to go over these couple of verses. How about 9 and 10? Silver spread into plates is brought from Tarshish, and gold from Uphaz. I don't know if I'm pronouncing those right, but let's keep going. The work of the workmen, and of the hands of the founder. Blue and purple is their clothing. They are all the work of cunning men. But the Lord is the true God. He is the living God, and the everlasting King. At his wrath the earth shall tremble, and the nations shall not be able to abide his indignation. So we're talking about idols, aka fake gods, versus the real God. You have to read the whole section in order to get context. This is why I tell people all the time, be it atheist or Christian who's learning, you have to read, to get the good perspective and context of what's in the Bible, you have to read the entire chapter, the chapter before and the chapter after, in order for you to get what's going on. Really, you can't just quote a little group of verses unless you already know the correct context based off of your previous reading of the entire chapter. So if you want to get the proper context, you'll read verses 1 through 14. And 14 is a kicker. Let me just read that real quick. Every man is brutish in his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image. For his molten image is falsehood, and there is no breath in them. I don't want to take up too much of your time. Pretty much, I'll just summarize and paraphrase verses 1 through 13. It starts as a tree cut down, and it is then carved. Though it has a mouth, it can't speak. It's nailed down, fixed in place. It can't move on its own. It must be carried. Don't be afraid of it. It can't do any evil, neither can it do good. It's powerless. The carved wooden idol is covered with silver or gold plate. It's dressed in blue and purple clothing. It's lifeless, and it's vanity, futile, and a work of error. I don't have any issues with JTO. I think he's a great MRA. I've never been in any conflict with him, and I read a lot of his content on A Voice for Men, and it's good content. So I'm just addressing video that needs to be addressed because these points are inconclusive, or they're not. The point he's making is not complete because he stopped at verse 4 when the full context of this story goes beyond, well beyond that.